Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra has been out for a week now, and there's very little solid information on map events, most of which are just scattered across the internet. Knowing when these events happen, what buffs they give you, and how the map transforms can give you a massive edge over players who are just along for the ride. And let's be honest, if you've queued up solo, you already know half your teammates are just sightseeing. Prepare yourself though, and instead of getting wiped, you'll be the ones making enemy players want to uninstall. Let's start with the basics, the map. Each lane has 2 God of Destructions and the final base which houses the Dragon Ball. To win, you need to take out all of the enemy God of Destructions, break the case at the final base, and steal the Dragon Ball. At the start of the match, top lane will spawn 6 minions between home base and the first God of Destruction, plus 2 more near the base. And in that stretch, bottom lane will spawn 4 plus 2 more near its first base. Now, about those purple clouds you see on the minimap. These mark the areas that are locked until certain conditions are met. Defeating either of the first God of Destructions in a lane begins to open up the map a little. And to clear the remaining fog covering the enemy's lane, both of the second tier bases must go down. There's also a central purple fog which won't clear until the 5:45 minute mark. And by the way, since there aren't any official images of the map out there yet, what you're seeing here is a full recreation I built from scratch. Every lane, every spawn, all handmade so we can break it down together. So if you find this helpful, or just want to show your appreciation of the work that went into it, let me know in the comments. And consider subscribing so I can continue to make more videos like this for you. Next up, early events. At 35 seconds, a Supreme Kai spawns between you and your opponent's lane on both paths. Each Kai is worth a huge 500 XP. Compare that to the 50 to 100 XP from minions, and you'll see why they're worth fighting for. Between 40 seconds and the 1 minute 10 second mark, the first Xeno wave arrives. They'll stay on the map for about 40 seconds. Early on, it takes them about 15 to 20 seconds to reach a God of Destruction, which gives you 20 to 25 seconds to push the lane safely. But as the match progresses, their travel time will get shorter and shorter. The Xeno waves will spawn roughly every 40 seconds, and they'll be alternating between lanes. There's one more important detail about them, but we'll circle back later. At 1:15, the number of minion spawns will increase. Both lanes will get 3 spawns near their base, with the bottom lane gaining 3 new spawns in the middle and the top lane getting 1. From here on out, the top lane will have about 19 spawns and bottom will have 16. At 2 minutes, the first big objective will appear. The top lane will spawn Android 16 and the other Nappa. Which one spawns seems kinda random, so you'll need to keep an eye on your map. And at 4 minutes, the second objective will spawn. It'll be the one you didn't get earlier. So if top got Android 16 first, bottom gets Nappa, and vice versa. At 5:45, that central purple fog will clear. This is to set up the middle objective, either Ribrianne or Jacko. They can appear as early as the 6-minute mark, but only if both the top and bottom objectives have been taken down. If Nappa or Android 16 are taken down after the 6-minute mark, it seems like a 15-second countdown for middle objective begins immediately. For example, in this match, you see that Nappa is still up after 6 minutes, but the instant he goes down, his effect triggers, and the timer in the middle of the map begins. And finally, at 8 minutes, a second mid-objective spawns. If Ribrianne was first, then Jacko will appear. And if Jacko was first, then you got Ribrianne. And remember, throughout all of this, the Xeno waves will keep rolling in every 40 seconds, and will be alternating between lanes. So what do these objectives actually do? Each boss grants a permanent team buff. Nappa gives a 30% rush attack damage boost, Android 16 gives you a 15% movement speed boost, Ribrianne gives steady healing, and Jacko gives a 20% skill damage boost. These buffs last the entire match, which you'll be able to notice with an icon above a player's health bar. And all of the bosses chip away at a God of Destruction when defeated. The lane objectives will attack the bases in their respective lanes, so Android 16 will damage top lane, and Nappa will hit bottom lane. And based on observation, the mid objective seems to attack based on a set of priorities. If there are any tier 1 bases left, those will be attacked first. After that, it will prioritize attacking the base with the least health. And here's the big one. Secure 3 objectives, and your team summons this Double Trouble Xeno. Basically, they're beefed up versions of the regular Xeno with shorter travel time and longer map presence. Realistically, if you reach this point, victory is almost guaranteed. Another thing to note is that if there's a complete team wipe, the Xeno that was pushing your lane will immediately zip over and attack the enemy's lane instead. In other words, you will have 2 Xenos pushing 2 different lanes. And that's it. These have been my observation from reviewing gameplay footage. This guide will evolve more as data comes in, but for now, use it and share it. The more players understand map events, the fewer matches will devolve into aimless farming and random rotations. And honestly, that alone will save us a lot of headaches. Thanks for watching.